Hello folks, Everchanger here, and welcome back to more Pokemon Blaze Black 2. Last time, we explored the entirety of Pinwheel Forest and fought a lot of trainers. This time, before doing anything else, I headed right on over here to Route 20 because there is something very important in this cave that we definitely want to take care of before anything else. Let's head on in. Why, if it isn't David? That's someone with a Pokedex for you noticing a place like this. Still, this space. It's hard to put into words, but it feels full of something. A mysterious presence can be felt. Uxie. Mesprit. And Azelf. Uxie went flying off somewhere. Mesprit went flying off somewhere. Azelf went flying off somewhere. Those three are Uxie, Mesprit, and Azelf. They're thought to be the Pokemon that give us knowledge, emotion, and willpower. Still, I wonder where those three went. Hey, David, look all over the Unova region and try to find them. Indeed we shall. Now that we have done that, I want to head back to Natgrene City. Alrighty, here we are back in Natgrene City. First things first, if we head right on over this way, that item that our item finder picked up last time is indeed right here. A PP up. There are quite a few items that you can actually get here, but none of them are of great importance, and a lot of them have this weird day of the week requirement. But anyway, right up here, a mysterious presence can be felt here. Check the surrounding area. Not yet. I actually want to head into this building first. This is the Natgrene Museum. And if we head right on in here, repels effect wore off, obviously. Wow. Whenever I look at this skeleton, I'm fascinated. Welcome. I'm Hawes, the Assistant Director. Since you were kind enough to visit, I'll give you a tour of the museum. Why, you're David, right? You came all the way out here. Well now, which do you like better, the cover fossil or the plume fossil? This is quite sudden, but this is where you get to choose the fossil for this particular game. The cover fossil will give you Tutruga, and the plume fossil will give you Arcan. I have both of these, so it doesn't really matter. I just prefer to get the plume fossil. The plume fossil. Now that's a nice choice. If you want to restore it, go to our reception counter. That's where you can restore any other fossil that you get in the game. Very nice. Dear, suddenly interrupting my tours will surprise the patrons. Oh, and you haven't even introduced yourself yet, have you? Oh, that's right. I'm Lenora, the director of this museum. I'm always in my study, so come visit if you have time. Oh dear. Well, let's continue our tour. This skeleton is of a dragon-type Pokemon. There's a theory that it had an accident while it was flying around the world, and so it became a fossil. A little morbid, actually. We learn that Deoxys changes its form by coming into contact with the power of meteors. Very important information. Oh, now this is a truly interesting artifact. This is a replica of that Dark Stone. Have you heard of the Dark Stone? I'd say we have. This is the form of the legendary Pokemon Zekrom while it rests. What? You've seen Zekrom? That's amazing! In that case, my explanation is superfluous, isn't it? Lots of big words here. The library is in the next room. Beyond that is the director's room. By the way, Lenora is a former gym leader, and that up there is the former gym. Very nice. That's all he's going to explain in here for now, and I felt like it's really just an interesting little detail to show that off. But anyway, now that we've done that, let's head right on back outside. And now that we are back outside, let us check the surrounding area. And as if from nowhere, Uxie will appear. And I have to say, I love this song. Probably one of the best songs introduced in Diamond and Pearl, and considering it's Diamond and Pearl, that is high praise all on its own. The rendition of this song that is played at Pokemon Symphonic Evolutions is otherworldly. It's absolutely amazing, and I highly recommend checking it out in particular if you can, and man, that was so close. One unfortunate side effect of us having grinded up all these levels is I'm honestly not too terribly confident that I'll be able to attack this thing and not kill it in one hit. So I think I just have to start chucking Ultra Balls and just pray for their success. So I think I am going to cut away to doing that. There we go, Uxie was caught. It's worth noting, it knew Amnesia, so I waited for its special defense to be super high, and then I spammed Thunderbolt on it in the hopes of getting a paralysis. I unfortunately did not, but this will probably be my strategy for the other two. When Uxie flew, people gained the ability to solve problems. It was the birth of knowledge. Very nice indeed. Alrighty, that is one pixie slash fairy slash whatever down. Now that we've done that, I will meet you guys at the summit of Celestial Tower. Oh wow, we qualify for a medal. What could this possibly be? It is the Dowsing Wizard medal. I guess we found just enough items using the dowsing machine just earlier. Alright, now I will meet you guys over there. And here we are at the summit of Celestial Tower. Let's check the surrounding area again. And we will summon forth Mesprit. Alrighty, Mesprit is very similar to Uxie. The main difference is their attack and defense stats. Uxie has very high defensive stats and very low attacking stats. Mesprit, on the other hand, is quite balanced, and as you might imagine, Azelf is a little bit more attack-oriented, so as we progress from here on out, they will be less and less capable of taking hits, so I want to be very careful attempting to capture them. Dang it, is it really going to tease me that much? We had a 3-shake quick ball on Uxie as well. Either way, I'm going to try and bait it into using Amnesia, presuming it has it, and then I'll attempt to paralyze it, but for now, Ultra Balls it is. So, as luck would have it, Mesprit doesn't actually learn Amnesia, and I just checked, Azelf doesn't either. That level of damage is a single Thunderbolt, which means Azelf is going to be a right pain to catch. When Mesprit flew, people learned the joy and sadness of living. It was the birth of emotions. Very good. Now that we have done that, we are going to be heading to, of all places, Route 23. Alrighty, here we are on Route 23, and we want to head right back this way. What are you guys talking about? I had cut the entire time. Random Sand/Slash cameo aside, right through here somewhere. I believe it's right up here. Let's check the surrounding area. And we will summon forth Azelf. Alrighty, this one's definitely going to be interesting because this thing has crap defense. I am pretty sure I cannot attack it without one-shotting it. So this is going to be an interesting one. Fun fact about this Pokemon in particular is for some reason at level 76 it can learn, of all things, Explosion, which is pretty amusing, not gonna lie. Alright, can we get lucky with the Quick Ball, please? No, of course not. So yeah, Can't attack it, so we have to go straight to the Ultra Balls, and I have a feeling I will be here for quite a while. Yes! Oh, that was a little bit scary, because about halfway through that fight I realized I'm pretty sure I didn't save after catching Mesprit. Yeah, won't be making that mistake again. When Azelf flew, people gained the determination to do things. It was the birth of willpower. Oh boy. Really glad we caught that, because I wouldn't want to lose the past half hour of work. But anyway, now that we have caught all three of these legendary fairies slash pixies slash whatever they are, we are going to head back to Natgrene City. I said Natgrene City, but what I really meant was Pinwheel Forest, because as I mentioned last time, there are quite a few Pokemon that we do not have yet that we are capable of catching in this area. In the inner portion in particular, there are 3 in the normal grass and 2 in the shaken grass. So I think the rest of this episode will be spent catching all of the Pokemon in Pinwheel Forest that we did not yet have, so let's get right on to it. Alright, first up we have Whirlipede right here. This is the evolved form of Venipede, and I'm pretty sure we caught Venipede way the heck back at the beginning of our adventure. Kinda crazy how far we've come. Anyway, let's catch it. Where was that critical capture against Uxie, Mesprit, or Azelf? Huh, game? Storing energy for evolution, it sits. But when predators approach, it moves to stab them with poison spikes. Very nice, and I just noticed its species is the Curlipede Pokemon. I'd really love to know if that's an actual word. And up next, immediately afterwards, we have Swadloon, which is the evolved form of... oh god, what's its name? Oh god, I don't remember what this thing evolves from. I don't remember what its name is. It's, oh, man. Sawaddle, yeah, that's it. Wow, 2 critical captures in a row. I mean, I guess I'll take it at this point. Preferring dark, damp places, it spends the entire day eating fallen leaves that lie around it. Very nice. Now, the remaining Pokemon I want to catch in this area are all 5% encounter rates, so I might be here a while after this cut. Alrighty, it is episode 120 freaking 7, but believe it or not, we have managed to get all this way without obtaining Pikachu. Let's change that right now. Seriously, with the critical captures right now? Oh my god. They're not, like, disabled during legendary Pokemon fights, are they? Maybe I'm just really unlucky. It occasionally uses an electric shock to recharge a fellow Pikachu that is in a weakened state. Man, can you believe we've made it about 107.5 hours of gameplay time without obtaining a Pikachu? That's insane. Anyway, only 2 Pokemon left in here, and they're both in the shaking grass. Oh boy, wish me luck. Holy crap, finally something I don't have yet. I'm pretty sure I've been here for about 50 minutes trying to get something to show up, and the worst part is, there's still one more after this. There we go, Scolipede was caught. Now, oddly, You cannot catch Leavanny in this area, only Scolipede, which I find very odd. It clasps its prey with the claws on its neck until it stops moving, then it finishes it off with deadly poison. Again, these Pokédex entries are always so gruesome, but none of this stuff ever actually happens in the game or the show. Ah well, it's probably for the best that way. Dear holy god, it's a Raichu. Fine a freakingly. I am so glad that the number of Pokemon we have to find in Shaken Grass is in the single digits now, because man oh man, it's the worst. Anyway, evolution of Pikachu needs no introduction, although maybe it does, because I feel like Game Freak constantly tends to forget that this Pokemon exists at all. But anyway, 3 shakes, and we caught it. Nice. Not sure how I would have edited that out to be smooth had that not worked. Its tail discharges electricity into the ground, protecting it from getting shocked. Oh man, it feels like it's been hours I've been in here, and honestly, it has been at this point. The recording for this episode is almost at 2 hours in length now. One thing I should mention before we leave, that rock up there at the top of the screen, if for whatever reason you really don't want to use your woodland or to get a Leafeon, leveling up an Eevee in this area will in fact do it. But anyway, now that we have done that, I want to head outside because there are 2 more Pokemon I want to get, and they are both in Doubles Grass. So I'm going to hunt down some of that, and we are going to get to catching. Alrighty, there is one Pokemon I want to catch. Here we have Mothim, which is an interesting Pokemon in that I feel like a lot of people tend to forget that it even exists. Which makes sense because it is one of 2 evolved forms of Burmy, and the other one is a lot more interesting, mainly because that one has multiple forms. You can only get Mothim with male Burmy, which is pretty interesting, especially since I think male Burmy are, in fact, rarer, if I'm not mistaken. Either they're rarer or it's about the same chance, but anyway, Mothim really isn't that good anyway. And I feel like a lot of people just tend to forget that it exists altogether. Critical Capture's doing the work this episode, seriously, that's like the 4th one? That's insane. We must have crossed some sort of threshold for that. While it loves floral honey, it won't gather any itself. Instead, it plots to steal some from Combee. That's one thing I like, when Pokemon are interrelated in the ecosystem like that. It's really neat. Anyway, it's been a long time coming, but there's only one more Pokemon for us to get this episode. Let's find it. And there is the other Pokemon. As you might imagine, it is Wormadam, which is also an evolved form of Burmy, but this results from female Burmy instead of male Burmy. Wormadam is pretty interesting because, unlike Burmy, it will hold its form indefinitely, and I think its stats are actually different depending on what form it is in. For those of you that don't remember, Burmy is bug and grass, I think regardless of where you catch it, because it always appears in grassy areas. But if it battles in, say, a desert, it will become a bug ground type, and if it battles in a building, it will become a bug steel type. And Wormadam will hold this form upon evolution, which I think is pretty neat. I'm not sure, but I think it also affects its moveset as well, which I think is really interesting, and I think it could be fun to mess around with at some point. Another critical capture, that is insane. Wormadam really isn't the best Pokemon in the world, but I'm really glad to have it because that means I am done with this episode. Oh boy. When evolving, its body takes in surrounding materials. As a result, there are many body variations. Many meaning 3. Alrighty. Now that we've caught Wormadam, I am going to head back to Natgrene City to end off this episode. Alrighty, so I think now that we are healing up our Pokemon, we are going to end things off here. So, this past episode of Pokemon Blaze Black 2, we faced off against the 3 legendary Pokemon Uxie, Mesprit, and Azelf, and then we returned to Pinwheel Forest to take care of a little bit of unfinished Pokemon catching business. And next time, somewhere in town here, I think we'll find a certain set of 8 very powerful trainers that we have fought before, and we shall fight again. So without further ado, thank you all for watching, and I will see you guys next time.